Angel Reese was a big star. I thought Angel Reese was one of the biggest draws in the WNBA. I thought the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, who I would assume changed her moniker to Bayou Bravado since she is the lead rookie trash engineer for the Chicago Bravado in the Southside Dump. But I thought the Bayou Barbie was the main reason that people were paying attention to the WNBA this season. That's what you would believe if you listen to the mainstream media, the same media who begged you to pay attention to professional trash ball for years. And it's the same media who continues to downplay the impact of the Dump's only star. Well, KC, the media doesn't downplay the impact of Angel Reese. Angel Reese? I'm not talking about Angel Reese and the minimal impact, and I mean minimal impact that she has on WNBA attendance and television ratings. I'm talking about the impact of Caitlin Clark. I have never once looked at the schedule for the Chicago Bravado, but I always know when they play. The following morning, my news feed will be filled with headlines like, Angel Reese is making history! This rookie dump diver is amazing! Angel Reese with her 10th straight double-double! Friendly reminder, a double-double has a different meaning in the WNBA. When the media talks about a WNBA double-double, it means a player was able to empty 10 trash cans and successfully close the lids before the garbage truck moved on to the next stop. It's similar to how a dunk in the WNBA is considered a layup to anyone who watches the NBA. But anyway, if you were to believe the mainstream media, Angel Reese, she is one of the reasons that people are finally paying attention to the dump. But as it turns out, not even the media is paying attention to Angel Reese when she is sitting right in front of them. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. For some reason, there continues to be this ongoing debate as to who is going to be named Rookie of the Year in the WNBA. I'm really struggling to understand why this is being debated when it should be obvious to everyone. Caitlin Clark should be the unanimous Rookie of the Year. I don't know how many people in the media vote for this award. If we are going off past media coverage of the WNBA, I would assume that number is 1, maybe 2 people. I don't care if it's 200. If there are 200 voters, every single one of them should give Caitlin Clark this award for Rookie of the Year. In the history of sports, I can't think of an easier decision. People who support Angel Reese, they want to make this about stats. They want to make it about numbers and box scores, while anyone with a functioning brain, they are basing this decision on attendance numbers and box office. The Indiana Felines, they lead the dump in attendance, and it ain't even close. When Caitlin Clark is on the road, opposing teams, they are forced to move the game out of the high school gym and into an actual NBA arena. A week or so ago, Caitlin Clark was playing the Phoenix Masculines. If I remember correctly, I think it was the first time ever that the Phoenix Masculines sold out a home game. Now, of course, the Masculines players, they refused to give credit to the sellout to Caitlin Clark. According to Natasha Cloud, oh, it was just another home game for us. We are used to this. What you're used to is people sleeping in the front row. What you're used to is playing in gyms that are so quiet, you can hear the rusty springs from the trampoline as you try to miss another wide open layup. Caitlin Clark is doubling the attendance of the Chicago Bravado. The most attended game in Chicago this year featured Caitlin Clark. But again, you wouldn't know this if you listen to the mainstream media. Caitlin Clark's not the only star in the WNBA. Katie Rue's not the only one responsible for drawing mainstream attention. I'll have you know, when Angel Reese is on the road, they have to move the games from the high school gym to the local YMCA. Look, I don't have a problem with Angel Reese. Matter of fact, I like Angel Reese. I think she's a great player. Her impact on the court is undeniable, but off the court, Angel Reese, she just doesn't have the same level of impact as Caitlin Clark, and this was further proven last night during a press conference. Yesterday, the Bravado, they traveled to Seattle to play the Spankers. As is the case with most WNBA games, this game is brought to you by Just for Men. As is also the case with most WNBA games, this exciting matchup featured participants who have to wear name tags to be recognized at their own family reunions. I mean, listen to some of these names: Jordan Horston, Sammy Whitcomb, Dana Evans, Isabel Harrison. Does that sound like a roster of professional basketball players to you? Sounds more like the employee roster at the local Dollar General, the preferred shopping location for WNBA players living off of minimum wage. All kidding aside, Angel Reese, she had another excellent game yesterday. I know I make fun of the WNBA all the time, but Angel Reese, she is one hell of a basketball player. Kind of reminds me of Charles Barkley in a way. She's an excellent rebounder, but she's also effective on the offensive end of the floor. Angel Reese is a great player, very dynamic, but there is some in the media that don't think Angel Reese is entertaining. They might pretend to think so, but their actions say otherwise. After the game last night, Angel Reese attended a press conference with her head coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, who we definitely miss in New Orleans, and a couple of other players whose identities remain unknown. Someone from the media, they were trying to ask a question, but they were rudely interrupted by what appeared to be a private phone conversation. The person responsible was paying so little attention to this press conference. This interruption, it went on for 20, maybe even 25 seconds. They were so bored, they didn't even realize what the hell was going on. Watch for yourself.
Ever going to have an intimate relationship? I'm sorry, the last part cut off because something.
That's an uncomfortable topic.
Excuse me?
Can some?
Amy.
I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Can you repeat your question, Jordan? We have some
I never had
background
any
noise.
interest in being intimate with anyone.
What is going on?
I told you they were being weird on that. Yeah, somebody's microphone is on.
It's just,
Hey, see,
Question again.
sorry, Jordan.
Look, I know the WNBA is struggling financially. I know the Dump is on pace to lose over $50 million this season, which is 5 times the amount they typically lose every year. I'm sure their subsidizers in the NBA aren't happy about cutting a check for an additional $40 million just to keep this Dump afloat. I understand the financial constraints that Kathy Engelbert is dealing with, but come on! Can we not move these press conferences into the 21st century? This looked like it was filmed in the late 90s and we were watching through a 56K modem. I thought there was a larger media presence at WNBA games this season. But you mean to tell me, the Chicago media, they don't follow the Bravado to road games? They damn sure follow the Chicago Bulls, and that franchise has been in the pooper since Jordan left in '98. Outside of 1 or 2 seasons with Derrick Rose, the Bulls have sucked. But the Chicago media, they follow them to road games. When it comes to the Bravado being on the road, the media holds the press conference through Zoom. I hope Jeffrey Toobin wasn't on that press conference. Hell, that might have been who was on the other end of that phone call. As you guys know, Jeff, he loves to spank the wanker on those Zoom meetings. But it would be bad enough if someone in the media was on the phone during one of these press conferences. I'm sure instances like that happen in the NBA or the NFL, but most of the time during a press conference, the media, they're paying attention, they're asking questions. I mean, they are there for a reason. They have articles to publish, and the players provide the content for those articles. But whoever this was in the media, they weren't having an intimate conversation with their significant other. They weren't talking to one of their friends about their relational problems. As it turns out, this person was so bored during this press conference, they were watching an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Just think about that for a second. Angel Reese was so boring to whoever this was in the media. that they were watching reruns of a CBS sitcom. This league desperately, I mean desperately, needs Caitlin Clark to make the playoffs. If Caitlin Clark doesn't make the playoffs, it is going to be humiliating for the WNBA. What's going to end up happening, you're going to see the mainstream media, you're going to see the WNBA send out a press release bragging about their attendance, bragging about their ratings. Both metrics, which are heavily boosted by Caitlin Clark. Now, typically, those end-of-season reports, they're released right around the start of the playoffs. It's going to be a celebration of rainbows and woke wieners temporarily. But then, reality will strike. There's going to be immense pressure on the WNBA to perform, and without Caitlin Clark, they don't have the ability to do so. Seriously, if Caitlin Clark misses the playoffs, who is going to draw in the casual viewer? Which is the only viewer that the WNBA has. There is no such thing as a WNBA fan. You have Caitlin Clark fans, and then you have 143 other players that no one cares about. For some reason, I have not been able to access ratings since June 12th. I have multiple sources for television ratings, and none of them have data past June 12th. I reached out to one of them earlier this afternoon asking what the hell was going on, but according to the most recent data that I have, Caitlin Clark, she is averaging around 1.5 million viewers a game, while the rest of the WNBA, they are hovering between 400,000 and 500,000. You start pulling those numbers in the playoffs, and you have a recipe for disaster in the WNBA. Hell, you really have a recipe for disaster for the mainstream media, because what excuse are they going to make then? Give me your thoughts. Angel Reese ignored by the media at her own press conference. Instead of paying attention to Angel Reese and her bravado teammates, the media, they are watching reruns of Young Sheldon or whatever the fuck. Is the WNBA set up for embarrassment if Caitlin Clark misses the playoffs? Is Angel Reese enough of a mainstream draw to carry the league through the postseason? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.